progress.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Introduction of the board, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Grandy.
Marie Junie.
Michael Randy Carmody.
Aaron Bear. Trisha Erie.
There's no agenda revisions this evening that I'm aware of. Approval of the board meeting minutes from October 9th.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the board workshop minutes from October 26th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. There's no student representative report this evening as a student sick. Superintendent's report, Mr. Bear.
Yeah, boy, so sorry Thanksgiving. So as you know, we adopt a calendar on a 2-year cycle. Mackenzie saw those calendars early. We were doing the calendar adoption. Did you not last time? You saw it. You were in our meetings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, she's giving me advice. I was like, no, she was there, I promise. So what was interesting because we made some decisions with our staff and with our Superintendent's Leadership Council and then in for the board about not having the Wednesday after Halloween. And then all I heard the Wednesday after Halloween is how everybody was upset that we didn't have the day off. I'm like, no, lots of people make this decision. So I just wanted to assure folks that next year, the day after Halloween is a Friday and it will be a day off. So we're in good shape. And we started adopting those calendars 2 years in a row just because it was too much. We thought there was a bit too much inconsistency. It gave folks an opportunity to plan well in advance. And one of the things that, I've heard from a number of folks independently that they want to revisit. One of the iterations that we had on our early drafts was a way to try to get to as many 4-day school weeks as possible without having to change the contract. And that put us in a position where on one iteration, we had about 44% of our weeks were 4-day weeks. And the other was about 48% were 4-day weeks. And that's a combination of days that we just have off because we have 171 days, but teachers work 190, I believe, 91. 191.
Mhm.
Yeah, they work 191. So there's 21 more days in there. So some of that comes by just maneuvering those days off and putting them in positions that are right after a week that already has a holiday in it. So leveraging the existing holidays and the gaps in that schedule to get to that place. And so I say that because, this is once we hit the new year, then we're already into forecasting for the next year. We're already looking at calendars for the next 2 years. And so that'll be one of those things that we start to take on here in the real near future. And why not just say people at the time are like, let's look at a real 4-day school week. I don't know, there's a lot of value in that necessarily. There's a lot of contracts, language that has to change, 10-hour days, things of that nature. And I don't know that anybody really should be working a 10-hour day at the direction of the district, quite frankly. If there's work that carries them beyond the 8-hour, fair enough, but not at the direction. And I just think it gets more complicated. If you do go that route, there's dialogue around classified staff potentially losing time, right? Because now they're not working on a Friday. And so I think there are other ways around that. But we'll try to be creative again. And we didn't do it to save money. We did it to create opportunity for folks to have some space, kind of in their personal lives from their work and in their personal lives a little bit. We thought we were onto something. I think we're still kind of onto something, and that'll be a conversation that we start with our folks again here in the near future. So if people are complaining about Halloween, or you heard that, how many anybody out there hear the complaint? Oh, Mackenzie, were you complaining? I heard the complaints we had. Yeah, right. I heard parents, I have staff,
It depends on what grade level you teach, whether you heard it.
Yes, elementary for sure, right? So just the way the calendar falls is very intriguing. Like this year, for example, there's only 2 weeks in December. right? And so we get out, I think, on the 15th. Next year, the holiday doesn't start until the 20th. So when Tim's folks pay out, this year they pay out, we pay on the 15th. We don't wait until January. Next year, we pay on the 20th. And so in years where you only have 2 weeks, then folks are saying this is a long time in between pay periods. And so next year it'll be a little bit lighter in between pay periods. So you have all those variants. But I want to present that because that will be something that we have coming up again here in the near future. I mean, I think there will be some other implications from some legislation at the state level that on the staffing front that it costs us a little bit more money now with subs and the like that we'll take into consideration when looking at our calendar and how we navigate some of those days. One of those things is just how unemployment is treated now, so there'll be some, I think, calendar. Tim's biting his lip a little bit, but I think there'll be some calendar implications. There's a lot of stuff that we just can't avoid, but I think there's some ways to manage that through calendar. So second, today we did a principal for the day. That's something that we haven't done for quite some time. So we had there was the hiccup in our lives for a couple of years, and so some of the stuff that we would do historically was put on the back burner, but we were able to do that today. Again, I think it's a great opportunity for folks to get into our schools. Every principal is here. Everybody had somebody that was there from the community represented, and it's always I think the dichotomy between what they think they're going to see when they go in and what they actually see, and then coming out going, oh wow, it's always to me very intriguing. And so and then this is the time to strike while the iron's hot. Inevitably, oh, you gotta get more people in your schools, you gotta get more community. So we're gonna try to, at the very least, make that happen, especially at the high school through our CTE program, because it's hard for folks who maybe don't have children in our system, maybe their kids have graduated out, to really find the value, right, and the money that they put into our system, because nobody's experiencing the value. And have kids experience the value, grandchildren experiencing the value. And what I mean by that is college credit courses, right? What I mean by that is in CTE courses, the skills that they're going to gain and walk right out of the workplace. So if we can show them the value in a different way, I think that's something that will be of great benefit to us. And I want to try to not miss folks, but give a shout out to the people that participated. We had Aaron Ferguson from Trimble, I think, participated. Somebody, Julie or Garth will correct me if I'm wrong. And then we had Darren Wagner from Wagner Travel. We had Jolie from Mount Hood Hospice. I'm just going off the top here, so I don't have it written down. So we're gonna see if I can get these all right. We have Paula Siverly. Paula is from Welch's, and I forget what you represent. What is it's new? Is it new? Oh, good. So that's not something that's longstanding, but Paula is also with a lending company and does some other work in the community. Let's see, I gotta look at these folks so that way I know who they were with. Stan Pulliam, Mayor Pulliam was here. He traveled to BMS a long way from the city of Sandy. And I think it was good for him. There were some insights there, so some takeaways for him in the city. He really wants to try to get more people into the schools so they know, the way he couched it was, hey, we'd like to show people schools. So we're, our city codes are changing and when we're, I guess exercising the city's purview to make changes, they can take the school's needs into consideration. So I think that was real positive. Brian Nork was here representing Clackamas County Bank. So that was good to have the bank there. And Claire is always there and she represents the bank, but Barb, I think, is part of everything, right? Yeah, so everywhere you go, she's part of everything. Shannon Gibbons, who represents the Chamber of Commerce, was there, and Shannon ended up going to Kelsa. Went to Kelsa. Which was good. And Shannon's also in the leadership, my superintendent's leadership council. So it's good to see Shannon. I'm missing two people. Dom. Oh man, Dom is on the top of my list. Delangelo, Dominic was a graduate from here. Dominic is the chief, I think he's the chief operations director now at Dick Hanna. And so we're doing some work already in the works with Sarah to get more exposure for our kids to the automotive program with Dick Hanna. The pros are that Dick Hanna has lots of shops. The cons are that it's not really a local shop anymore, right? That said, I'm still excited about the opportunity to get kids potentially directly connected to Dick Hanna. They have some stuff that they're, I think, excited about, providing mentorships and the like for kids that can come right out. They can provide the supports and then some of the financial backing, hopefully, and the education for kids to take, so they have a living wage job right out of the gate. And he also has his type 170 a drone license. I don't know what the type is. This is type 170.
107.
There you go. 107A. If there's an A in there, I think that's a niner. I don't know what's in there, but it's a long thing. And so we want him to come back because we think it's critical to connect kids that have that same affinity for drones, for you name the industry, to see people in our community that actually are exercising those same skills and putting to use here. So it was good. And then Sandy Grade School had somebody, and I'm gonna.
You already said him.
I did?
There.
Oh, Darren was with you, he just didn't sit by it. See, I got the table, it's just, I'm going around the table. And that's it. Did I miss somebody? I didn't miss anybody. Outstanding. So principal for the day, and that's the reason we like this, because people do get to see what we're doing, and I think it reinvigorates some folks. I don't know if the principals necessarily are like, woohoo, but when they get into the room, they're like, yes, woohoo. Kendra was. Yeah, she was like, woohoo. So, and I know it's exciting for Sarah too, because to make those industry connections isn't always easy, and they already have a connection with Mount Hood. So historically, we've had 4 or 5 presidents of Mount Hood in the time that I've been in this position. And so we've offered up many ways to try to help them offset costs, et cetera. At one point, we even pitched that we would split the teacher. They pay for half the cost of the autos teacher, and then at the second half, we pay, but if they do an evening program, so our kids can go through the autos program during the day, and they get that extended learning in the evening. And there was just a lot of turnover, and then priorities changed. So this is really a good opportunity for us right here. And then I just do want to say, because I've been a principal when you do principal for the day, and I think I had Ernie Brochi from it was AEC. Yeah. 1 year, and I remember he employs like 200-300 people. I think it's a pretty big operation. And I just remember how awestruck he was that, whoa, this is what public school is all about. And so, and it's not easy having somebody shadow you. So kudos to our principals, because that's really, it's not. I mean, because you never know, anything can happen. 1 year we had a little child that disrobe and climb on top of this play structure, and then we had a principal for the day, and this little 3rd grader. Just he was a runner, and he had an episode, and the principal of the day got to see all of that. So it's anything from that to building industry connections like we did today. So, and then lastly, we value our FFA program. We think it's phenomenal. Not that other people don't do them, but FFA programs are not as you don't see them as frequent in schools as you once did. I remember when I first started in Douglas County, everybody had one, right? And it was like everybody that was in the school was in FFA. And then if they weren't associated with the school, they were doing 4-H, and the 4-H was associated with the school, was associated with the countywide club, and everybody was doing it. And it's just not the same as it used to. However, that's a point of pride for us. And there was a number of individual accolades, but as a team, the team ag communications are the gals, as it was this time, took 3rd nationally. So Allie Kester, Kay Jones, and Gracie Baker took 3rd nationally. And that's not something that's not an achievement. That's an absolutely amazing achievement. So we just wanted to share that we're very proud of their efforts, very proud of the work that goes into that with Smith Dunn. Our agricultural teacher, and the amount of time and energy that she puts in. And she traveled this time, I believe it was to Indianapolis with the kids to make sure they got that resolved. So that's what I have for you.
Any questions for Aaron? Moving on, I don't have any cards from citizens, any certified staff update.
Good evening. The year is flying by already. Teachers are steadily working through their fall conferences at all levels. As always, we're working on creative and innovative ways to support our students to the best of our abilities. As we've mentioned in the past, the shifts in students since the pandemic encompass not only behavior, but their learning needs, a challenge that will likely linger and unfortunately be something that we will need to therefore continue to share about with you. Educators at all levels are working incredibly hard to be everything they need to be for students. We spend countless personal hours planning, grading, organizing, documenting, and reflecting so we can give our students what they deserve. At the secondary level, educators are working to manage the new grading policies that have been put into place. We understand the value and the purpose, but the recalibration of our practice takes time, and therefore we're working harder than ever to manage the shifts. Breaks are important, so we are looking forward to the upcoming winter breaks. We wish everyone a happy holiday season this November. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't believe there's a classified update today. There normally isn't. Consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Action items. We have two applications to fill the position in Welch's that became vacant. So I'll entertain a motion to accept one of the two applications.
I'd like to make a motion to accept Paula Staggerly.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Or it looks like she's here, so any questions for her?
She just did principal for the day, so she might be questioned out.
So we should question her sanity.
Yes.
If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to the board.
Yeah, so what we'll
Limited cookies now.
unlimited cookies. So what we'll do is we'll do the swearing in at our next board meeting. So welcome, Paul.
No information or discussion items today. Announcements. The OTA board meeting is December 5th. Our next meeting is December 11th, and January 25th, we have a board workshop. Are we missing a meeting in there for January, like the 13th or something?
Yes, it is. It's the Tuesday.
Day one.
So remember, it's Tuesday, so we had a beloved board member that was on the board forever and ever and ever and really loved that championship Monday.
So it's January 9th.
It's the Tuesday, so I think it's, yes.
January 9th is the January meeting. So
Right.
we are going to recess for exec session in 5 minutes.
Briefly, yes, thank you.
So you can have the room cleared for exec.
Recording stopped.
That's all I think.